Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show can also be seen at Martin Houston Live on Facebook, on YouTube at Martin Houston Live, at Martin Houston 35, and at Tide 109 on Facebook as well. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and we're live and local and ready to get things going. So I want to invite you to get in on the conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show. Inviting you to join the conversation at 205 342 9904. 205 342 9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Inviting you to add your thoughts and comments to the conversation. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good today, Martin. Happy to start up a new week, and let's see what it has in store for us.
Absolutely. We'll got a lot to get to. Of course, we're going to come back and circle back to the big game on Saturday and get your thoughts there as well. Also, the Plains is a very interesting time right now. Their program on the hardwood may be at the highlight of its legacy and career in terms of ever as high as Auburn basketball has been, as they get a last second win on a controversial no call to end the game. And so, is Auburn getting favoritism or not now that they're the number one team in the land? On the other side, whew, Brian Harsin, I guess Pete Golding loves Brian Harsin right now, because who would have ever thought Pete Golding news would be in the media and gone? But thanks to Brian Harsin and what's going on, there's a lot to this story, and I guess we got to figure out how much of it is legit and not legit. Will he survive? That's part of the conversation. Then, of course, we can talk about the Senior Bowl and Pro Bowl. Should they just end the Pro Bowl and just recognize those guys and just do away with that game as well? And then, of course, Nick Saban still making coaching moves that we really hadn't talked a lot about. But when is he going to let some people go? When are we going to hear of guys leaving? Are they fired, leaving, staying, going to the off the field? Who knows? We'll know it eventually, and then based on whether or not we have a chance to get to it, we'll start talking some grades and different things as we prepare for spring practice. Joe, let's circle back around to Alabama and Kentucky. Um, did we actually see? We talked about this team in two personalities. Did we see those two personalities actually on the court pretty much at the same time on Saturday? As Alabama had one of the worst offensive performances I think I have seen by a basketball team in a long time. While at the same time potentially being lost on that was a great defensive effort and all around effort in all other areas of the game, with the exception of maybe turnovers.
Yeah, Martin, you hit on it. The worst shooting output for Alabama since 2011 in a game. Going 3 for 30 from behind the line and going 64% from the free throw line. Just really couldn't get anything going on the offensive end. But you're right, they played good enough defense, and you out rebounded Kentucky. You out rebounded the number one rebounder in the country, Oscar Tshiebwe. You kept him kind of from really killing you. But you just couldn't get anything going on offense, and the result is a disappointing result, an unfortunate result, and a lot of frustration from the Alabama fans and the Alabama side of things. You asked, do we see both sides of the two sides of Alabama? You really did, because you got the defensive effort that Coach Oates has been kind of has been begging for all year long, but just didn't really get much on the offensive end.
Yeah, when you look at it, if I had told you Alabama would hold Kentucky to a field goal percentage of 400, uh, a .364 in 3 points, uh, and out rebounded them, uh, equal on turnovers, and Kentucky scored 66 points, you would have said we won that game. I mean, it's just even with the other thing you would think, but not the case when you look at the stat line. Bediako leading score with 12, Rojas 8, Davison 7, Quinley. I mean, it's just when you look at some of these numbers, Joe, it was really bad, and I guess the question has to be, what's Plan B? Greg McElroy, pointed out some going into this game. Alabama was eighth, Joe, in the nation in 3-point field goal attempts, 653, 290th in 3-point field goal percentage. Normally, you say shoot your way out, right? Is that the advice you give this team, though? I mean, are we going to have to find something else? Look for some. I don't know where you go, but um, I Greg also followed up that statement by saying Coach Nate Oates is frustrated because his team has lack of discipline, lack of effort, etc. Well, who is that on? Who is that on? And of course, I have not researched it. I just saw that, of course, Miles getting suspended right before the game, and I heard that was part of the reason the team was off. But that speaks to the leadership. You can't you can't let that completely throw you out of your game. I understand it could throw you off, but it seemed like it actually may have served as a motivation, because at one point it was 9-1 and we had hit a couple threes, Joe. We really, if you really break down that 3 for 30, Joe, it was more like 1 for 27, because we hit a couple early threes and then proceeded. How many did anybody count how many we missed in a row? Has anyone brought that stat up? Have you seen that? Because that was the crazy part to me. Not only did we go 3 for 30, it was one point where we just kept shooting. And so, what do you do? What do you do? When you look at that.
Oh, I'm going to disagree with Greg. Just with he talked about Coach Oates being frustrated and lack of effort. I think the effort was very high on Saturday.
Yeah,
I think the effort has been high with the team. Uh, in the last handful of weeks.
Six Georgia, yeah, especially since Georgia.
Yeah, especially since Georgia. The issue is, Martin, you only have one shooter really, and Jaden Shackelford is really your only true shooter, and so you're getting defenses packed in, trying to focus in on the drive of JQ and JD. You're leaving the defenses are leaving Rojas, and they're leaving Gurley, and they're leaving all these other guys. They're leaving JQ, they're leaving JD out there open, and just begging them to shoot. And Alabama's, at least on Saturday, was given right into it. Rojas just jacking up shots left and right anytime he was open. Alabama, Neto, I think, well, you asked what can you do. I think you have to reevaluate the freedom you're allowing the team on offense. In my opinion, I really still agree with the 3 point and layup mentality. I think that's the evolution of basketball. Coach Rhodes talked about how you can't just change your philosophy. You can't change what you've recruited to middle of the year. This is your philosophy. This is what you build your team on. This is what you've built your program on. But you need to maybe rein in the freedom on offense. Because sometimes we call plays. It looks like we're running sets on offense, and it looks like the ball has a focus and a direction that it's going from A to B to C to D to shot. But sometimes it gets stagnant, gets stuck on the guard, and everybody stands around watching the dribbler, and so you manufacture really poor shots. I think that Coach Oates really needs to probably get his hands on the team offensively and really kind of be in control of what shots we're manufacturing.
Joe, and I know this is going to sound funny, me comparing Coach Impera to to um, to Alabama basketball, but I was playing a game Saturday with my little guys, and uh, we were a bigger team, better than the other team, and they had us 9-4 um, uh, going into the fourth period, and um, we the way I had it set up, I had one of my bigger kids up top so he could get the ball and take the shot in the middle court or get it to other guys. But the defense they realized that, and so they were leaving guys open. But my little point guard couldn't get it to him, so I took my big. Okay, yeah, I know this is gonna sound crazy. I took my big who could make the long pass to the open guy and put him at point because he could make the pass. And I would just you know what I mean. So it makes no sense that your big is a point, but the defense was giving us something, and we won the game 13-9. That's part of it. But you know what I'll also do sometimes is I'll make them pass the ball a minimum of 3 times before they can take a shot. You know why I do that? Just so it gets everybody engaged and moving and attentive and working to get open. And that's what you're talking about, Joe. It's like sometimes we come down, man, and we're gonna move it and we're gonna screen and we're gonna roll and we're gonna drive and kick. And other times it's like one guy's gonna dribble, everybody's gonna move out, and we're almost kind of look like the James Harden version of basketball, which I can't stand. Um, uh, where we're not getting everybody engaged. Uh, I got a couple other things on that I want to talk about to your point about what do we do. And you made a statement, Joe. He said you can't change what you've recruited to, right? But what if what you've recruited to doesn't match what you want to do? We'll talk about that on the other side, right here on the Martin Houston Show. We're talking Bama, Kentucky. We can talk about that. And if you have something else you'd like to bring up, you're welcome to give us a call, 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks and things pretty quiet on this Monday morning. It is chilly. If you do see conditions, give me a call, 205-886-8886. February is the month for lovers, and you will love the savings at Townsend Nissan. They're your hometown dealer. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Tuscaloosa Gunsmith does gun repair, modifications, cleaning, Cerakoting, and laser engraving for guns, and they sell Black Rifle coffee. Tuscaloosa Gunsmith, just off 15th Street behind the fire station.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. So good, you gotta try it. With Straight Talk, you can get our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month. Now with unlimited high-speed data, plus 5 gigabytes hotspot data, and no contract, with nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot for your data when you can get unlimited for a whole lot less? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs, banners, digital displays, vehicle graphics, mobile marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs your business challenge, and they'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you've ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs. Visit Fast Signs at their new location just past Tuscaloosa Ford on the left. Locally owned and operated by Milton and Gina Chancellor.
It's Tango Day, everybody. Follow after me and step and back and slide and dip. That's tango.
Why is Ice-T leading a tango class?
It's probably the heart-shaped Honey Nut Cheerios. He found out they can help lower cholesterol. Now he's having fun taking care of his heart in all sorts of new ways.
Let's see those hips move, people.
Hurry and get your heart-shaped Cheerios. They're only here for a limited time.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Our weather will stay dry this week. The sky partly sunny today, the high 54. Tonight, mostly fair with the low at 29. For tomorrow and Wednesday, a good supply of sunshine both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 57, Wednesday's high 61.
I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
It's 31 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith at Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Getting a few comments over on social media. CJ Watson saying holding number 5 UK to 66 points is a recipe for a big win. However, 55 points is excruciating. That's lower than the Anthony Grant era. Slow down the game style of game. That was painful. Curtis Moore, the second saying, I'm still not giving up on our basketball team. Sure, I don't like the inconsistency, but if we get hot at the right time for the NCAA tournament, that would be for us. I see the talent there if we just put it all together. CJ Watson saying offense is shoot threes and isolate and drive. That's it. I don't know if they don't have a half-court game or just don't use it, but get that ball down low to Gary and Bediako a little bit more. They can either shoot it or kick it out. Bama will do it once and then abandon it. Threes where the assists come from the post are often high percentage threes. No way I'm giving up. Talent is there. Consistency and leadership must be found, though. And Virgil Williams saying, we're not only missing the threes, but we make these great drives to the basket and throw up the ugliest shots I've ever seen. My dad used to say when I played, you made $1 million drive and a 10-cent shot. I've never seen so many missed layups in my life. It's pitiful. We need to commit to the drive and go up hard to the basket. Stop with the finesse. I'm not sure we have as much talent as some think. All right, Joe, you made a statement that kind of tied into that last statement by Virgil Williams. We have a lot of talent on this team based on the recruiting services, correct? Probably, potentially, if you were to take this team, would this be one of the highest ranked teams ever in the history of Alabama from a recruiting ranking standpoint? Agree or disagree?
Yeah, the team's got, 2 McDonald's All-Americans on it. Not very many Alabama teams in the past can post that.
Right. But the question becomes this, Joe. It's just like in any sport. You develop an identity, right? You recruit to that identity. You have a style of play you want to recruit to. And Nados is recruited to that style. The question I have is this. Did he miss? Has he missed? Because the guys he had that executed his style, he didn't really recruit those guys to come play. He inherited guys. The guys he's recruited right now, can this team effectively play the style he wants to play consistently based on their shooting ability?
I think they can. We're missing a humongous piece that he also recruited. I think that Namari Burnett sitting on the sidelines with a torn ACL is really good at like, oh my gosh. I think that if he were healthy, we would not be complaining near as much because I think he's a top three shooter on this team, probably a top three scorer on this team, and it gives you a guy that that opens up the floor and helps maintain the spacing on the floor. So really, Coach O's running into some hard luck recruiting a top end guy from Texas Tech out of the transfer portal. But the young man ended up tearing his ACL prior to the season. So I think that you're seeing Coach O. It's kind of you know deal with what we've all dealt with what we dealt with on the Alabama football side of things lately. A key injury holding this team back.
Yeah, and would you say from last year, missing Herb Jones, I think is just the mentality piece of this team that's missing consistently on both ends of the court. But defense seems to be getting better. And I'm gonna tell you, I think that Gary helps his team in the same way that Herb did. He's not at the level of Herb, but Herb was a senior, right? I think Gary, for what he does in terms of comparing him to Herb, Joe, agree or disagree, he's just as good as Herb was at this point in Herb's career. And if
Oh
he,
yeah,
and if he
he's all over the
matures,
place as a sophomore.
yeah,
He's all over the place and he's impactful. You saw he did a good job against Jabari Smith in the Auburn
yep,
game. He's a defensive presence that he's just not really giving you much on the offensive end, but neither did Herb at that
right,
stage of his career.
right,
What you're missing Herb is the fact that you're missing Herb, John Petty, and Reese, three guys probably
you,
speaking with the same voice with leadership. I feel that your leaders, your Shacklefords, your JQs, your JDs, your guys with the ball, Keon Ellis. I feel like they're probably maybe giving different messages to the team, and it's kind of I think it's probably difficult to follow when four guys probably giving different messages.
yep. And so you're right. That's what the point. I think Gary, if he keeps working and hustling, and he could be that Herb Jones impactful by the time he's a senior. He's not there yet, but the problem is he don't have his supporting cast that Herb had. Back to your point, if we added one shooter, this team changes. But he had two shooters last year. Do we have anybody that's at the consistent level of Reese? And I know we don't have anybody at the level of Petty. If we had one of those guys, I mean, we thought Keon Ellis. When Keon Ellis is shooting Alabama, when he is consistent, I think Alabama is a much better team, and I think that they win those games. I think if Keon Ellis is knocking down, well, he had about 5 open threes. If he knocks down 3 of them, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Jaden Shackelford, you really don't have
Yeah.
that second consistent
Shooter.
shooter who's going to put it in from deep. So yeah, it makes it tough because defenses can leave a guy on Shaq and sink everything else in and tease you exactly what you saw on Saturday. They basically teased Rojas and Gary to make those threes, and it did not happen.
Not at all. No, I mean, I was like, oh, and and so the when I look at him, like you have to change something, okay? Um, and and early in this game, we looked like we were gonna try something different against Kentucky, Joe. We were Bediako, we went to him early in that game, and he seemed to have responded. Did Kentucky make that big of a change at halftime? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But he only got a couple points, like 4 points in the second half. But we didn't go to him. Curtis Lewis said Herb Jones isn't the reason you have no mid game and you don't play zone. And I
But
do.
this team doesn't play zone. That's not in Nate Oates' philosophy.
Right.
Both of those teams, no mid game, both those issues. I hate to be but no mid game. Well, you're not going to see a mid game with Nate Oates, and you didn't see it last year, and you didn't see any zone defense last year either, and you're not going to see it. Those solutions are just not anything that Coach Oates is really going to consider.
Yeah, and that becomes the
It's not going
question.
to work either.
Huh?
They're not going to work either. This team can't play zone defense.
Yeah.
This team. I mean, you're going to put Alex. You're going to put Bediako, a freshman, in the middle of your zone. Oh my gosh, they'll abuse him, moving him from side to side. He would get abused.
Well, I don't know what the solution is, and I'm not going to try. But he has to try something, Joe, because you have to have something else to go to. College, they figured it out. Now, I will say this. I think that what's his name intentionally played the way he played. I know we held him to 66, but I also think that was part of Calipari's approach too, because last year he had a down year for Kentucky, and everybody was saying, hey, you need to play basketball the way Nate Oates plays basketball because it's passed you by and all of that. So do you think or feel that any of this was kind of a I'll show you head to head that this, because they don't chunk up a lot of threes, Kentucky doesn't, but God, they killed us, Joe, on that the dunker cut into the goal. I don't know how many points they got off of that.
Well, I'm actually looking at you hit on that. I'm actually downloading a lot of the last few games for Alabama basketball. I think that defensively guarding the ball, a failure on guarding the ball has really exposed a problem because here's the thing, you lose the dribbler, then the big rotates over, and the dribbler finds the opposite big on the opposite side
Right.
for a layup or a dunk, and it happens over and over and over and over again, whether it be off the pick and roll or whether it just be off the dribble. The effort, the consistent effort guarding the ball and the backside rotation. It's good to get Bediako rotating over, but you have to have somebody
that
rotating
drops down.
Exactly, rotating for Bediako, and you're not getting that.
Yeah, and you were at the game, Joe. They said at the beginning of the game that Calipari says that that Alabama has a bad tendency to rotate to stop the shooter, the driver, but leaves the backside big when he rotates in, of leaving him unguarded. And we plan to take advantage of that today.
It's happened the whole season, all season long. And,
yeah.
And you clean up that on defense, I think you're probably well on your way to having more success.
Yeah, and Curtis said that's zone genius. Oh, Curtis, I know that's part of zone. And if you're not gonna play zone, you have to rotate that guy down. And so that's I guess that's what I'm saying about Coach Oates is if you're not gonna play zone, you have to have something that when that guy comes to help, if you don't have somebody dropping down, then you're gonna get killed. Just think about what happens when Gonzaga plays us again, if that becomes the case. Their 7-footer would just camp out right there at the goal and just drop it into the bucket. So listen, Curtis was saying you don't have the players to play last year's game. You can't match up with Auburn and Kentucky, so zone keeps you in it for several reasons. I don't know if zone is the best answer. I don't know if man's the best answer, but I know this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Virgil Williams said, so if Oates is unwilling to do something different when what his philosophy isn't working, then maybe he's not as great a coach as we think. Saban has a philosophy, but he's willing to change it when it makes, and that's what makes him great. That's my point to this whole conversation. I don't know the answer because I don't see all of those guys day in and day out. All I can tell you is you have to, even if it's just to it's almost like, Joe, when football isn't going great on the offensive side of the ball, what's one of the things that coaches do no matter whether it's the right move or not? They'll sub a quarterback in, right? I mean, it's like the poor quarterback may not even be the problem, but he's kind of that, oh God, our offense isn't working. So what can we try? Let's try the other quarterback. I mean, I don't know. We have to try something different because I'm telling you, Saturday, Joe, was brutal. I don't know if it was as brutal for you guys at the Coliseum as it was at home, but it was brutal at home. And you're like, just like step inside the three. Joe, they were caving in so much on the drive that we were taking wide open threes. If the you talk about Rojas shot one time, he was 3 to 4 feet behind the 3-point line, and no one was in front of him. So I guess what I'm saying is drive and take an elbow shot a couple times just to maybe make the defense change. You know, I don't know. Any any more closing thoughts? I'm dumbfounded because this is a team that could get into the tournament, Joe, and the shots start falling, and we're gonna feel totally different about them. I mean, that's the reality, and I get that. We literally could be watching a team that, if it gets hot in the way he plays, starts working, this team will be a good team if they keep up the effort on the defensive end. If they keep up the effort on the defensive end. But when you see a 3 for 30 shooting game, you have to question and ask yourself, does this team have not, because I thought it was all effort, Joe. I mean, for a long time I said it's just effort, it's just effort. Well, they're putting the work in on the defensive end. Their effort is good. They're hustling, but man, 15 turnovers. J.D. Davison, I'm not sure. What the pass he threw, Joe, where he threw it straight up in there? You remember that one?
He's had a rough couple games.
I said, when he was before he came down the court, I looked at my wife. I said, "Get the ball out of JD's hands. Get it out of his hands." And he dribbles down and he throws that pass. And I'm like, okay, something has to change. But anyway, that's anybody. If you want to call in and talk, disagree, agree, whatever. I'm not jumping off the wagon of the Nate Oates train. I'm just saying, hey, I want to see something different. And as we look at the upcoming schedule, Joe, these aren't cakewalks. I think Arkansas has won 8 in a row. We got Ole Miss on Wednesday, and then we got Arkansas and Mississippi State, and then Kentucky, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and A&M and LSU. So, is there a record? If we go on some type of crazy 2 or 3 game slide here, Joe, are we in danger of, because you could easily lose Kentucky and LSU, even though we had some great wins? Is there a danger of us not making the tournament if we don't at least get 4 or 5 of these wins?
I think if you lose them all, yes, but Alabama's in the tournament pretty locked in. Basically, Alabama. I think I've seen a lot of records predicting them in 19 and 16. Is that what I've seen? 19 and 19 and 15, something or like that.
Right.
It's kind of the record I've seen them projected at, which will be 5 more wins, going 5 and 6 or so over the next couple of games. Alabama's in the tournament. They're going to be a 6, 7, 8, 9 seed somewhere in there, and exactly what you said. If the defensive end continues to be cleaned up, I think Coach Oates really needs to consider calling an offensive set pretty much every time down the court to have to try to manufacture manufacture a shot that he's happy with instead of just letting the offense flow.
Yeah, and the defense right now, Joe, instead of us dictating who takes the threes, the defense is dictating who takes the threes. They're not letting our consistent shooter. They even, I mean, it got so bad, Joe, that they were giving us the corner three, but they were making sure that we were giving that corner three to Gary, or Rojas. You see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't Ellis, or I think I don't know. I mean, it's just, but they were all missing Saturday. When you go 3 for 30, everybody's missing. But anyway, come back on the other side. We can continue this conversation, but let's talk about the Auburn Tigers and what's going on down that way, as well as what's going on. Anybody asking questions about what's going on with the coaching staff at Alabama? Why all the changes? We'll talk about that and more right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks and things pretty quiet on this Monday morning. It is chilly. If you do see conditions, give me a call, 205-886-8886. February is the month for lovers, and you will love the savings at Townsend Nissan. They're your hometown dealer. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Work is a part of all of us. We know that the world around us has changed, and that's why the Alabama Department of Labor is here to get you back to working hard. Work is a part of all of us. Let us help you get back to it by visiting your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, ETA, and Federal WIOA, and Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request. Brought to you by this station and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed. Don't leave thousands on the table this year. Discover thousands of dollars in tax credits instead. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Wow, a lot of conversation around basketball. Want to encourage you to get in on the conversation. If you want to talk about basketball, you can post your comments on Facebook or you can call us at 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. And I do like the fact that there's been several of the guys commenting on Facebook and on social media saying, hey, listen, I'm not jumping off the bandwagon, but Curtis Lewis said, I'm not saying the ship is sinking, but I just saw a rat with a life vest on. Virgil Williams said, now I want to say that I'm not giving up on Oates. My statement was in response to what Joe says. I truly believe Oates is willing to change, but it's like he said, it may be too late to change in the middle of the year. I'm not ready to get rid of the coach, just ready to see change and better play. Maybe that's just getting rid of all the players he inherited and get his own guys in there. Maybe that's get rid of the cancer I feel is in the locker room. And that's, that. And I don't know if it's bad attitude cancer or Joe, just what you said, inconsistent leadership. You know, do we feel like we have one consistent team when they're on the court, or does it feel like different teams when different guys are running the point? Are we playing a different game when JD's in versus Quinterly? All of those are things that Nate Oates has to figure out. And of course, Nate Oates. At least the good news, Joe, is he at some point he's going to get a new Coliseum or a new venue. In terms of it being approved and all of that. I didn't really get your thoughts and opinions on what you think about the new facility and do you like the direction they're going in terms of the new facility?
Well, Joe's making coffee right now, so
that's fine. That's fine.
I'm taking over as Nathan.
Hey, Nathan, what you got any thoughts on it? Not a problem.
Could you repeat what you just saying?
I was just saying about the Coliseum in terms of do you feel like they're heading in the right direction in terms of what they appear to be going, a smaller arena, and even though they're going to chop out 4,000 to 5,000 seats, they're still talking about making sure the students have at least the same number of tickets as they had before, or maybe even more.
Well, as a student myself, I think they are going in the right direction. If they can give us more tickets, there's been games. Of course, the Auburn one was a real big deal, but even Baylor and Kentucky a couple days ago, where it's tough to get in there. And I understand that they give tickets away for free, but you still want your student section to be loud and impactful. I think that if you can give us students more tickets, that is definitely a step in the right direction. And honestly, if you could also kind of like just move the seating a little bit. Like, I just don't like in Coleman how the students, are in the corner of the arena. I think if we're like in the middle, or we're in the middle where I feel we can make more of an impact against the opposing team, or just make an impact in general for our team, I think that'd be better. So in this new arena, I understand it's supposed to be a little bit smaller, but if they can give students more tickets or anything like that, or even if we have to pay a few dollars for them, just to make sure that if you want to go to that game, you get in that game, I think that'd definitely be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the tickets. And I did talk. I said the night it was announced, I just happened to be at a West Alabama Chamber annual event meeting, representing Alabama 1 there, but it was a couple of the money people. So, because the question is, are you going to do like Auburn? And supposedly Auburn has students surrounding the entire bowl. So no matter where you at on the court, there's a lot of noise being generated your way as the opposing team at your basket, at Auburn's basket, behind your bench. You can't get away from it. The question and the challenge for Alabama is that when you watch the games on television, there's 4 seats, and there's a lot of money spent for those 4 seats. And this gentleman said, "Oh man, Martin, there's been people paying for 50 plus years for those seats. And if they keep them, undoubtedly they must have been. This is what's been told to them. If they get to keep the seats, Nathan, they are going to have to pay more to keep the same seats they've always had. Or it is possible that they could, as you say, get Alabama students out of the corner, um, and put them around the stadium, around the arena. But to me, worst case, just put them under a basket. You know, just put them under a basket. Is better than off to the side, um, to me. So it'll be interesting to see what and how Alabama uses their student section. Anything else you want to say on that before I move on?
Well, kind of just like you're saying about Auburn, I believe they cover around like 3/4 of their arena. I think if our design is something like that, it's very good because I mean I do understand that some of these like older adults, you know, they've been paying for these seats and for years, like you said, even 50 years down the road. But I mean, the students are also the most impactful. It's college basketball. It's college is the key word. The students are the most impactful people. We make the most noise. I mean, it sucks kind of, and if you have to pay more, I'm sorry, but at the same time, I mean, I want to win games, and I think the best way to win games is if you're relying on your students, and having your students in the corner of the arena isn't really helpful, especially you know when they have the ball on the other side. Like it makes no sense to me. I think that the students are the best, most impactful part of any college game. So if you have them around the arena, just creating noise and disruption to the opposing team in any way possible, I mean, I think that's the best thing. And that, even if that means raising prices a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now for us old folks, you know, I'm not sure how the seating was different now than it was under Wimp Sanderson, but Wimp created the Plaid Palace, and that place used to rock. Okay, and it was absolutely crazy, and we got to get back to that place because what happened. You have to get consistent. That's one. But if you're not being consistent, you need the students to be noisy until the consistency matches. And that's what has happened at Auburn under Bruce Pearl. And they created an environment. They created, they call it the jungle. You know, and it matters. And maybe 3/4 of it may work, and one area be for those seats on the floor. We'll see how they work that out. But anyway, come back on the other side. We'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, got a couple of wrecks, one on McFarland westbound near Main Avenue in Northport, so you can expect delays there. Another on 15th Street near 10th Avenue in Tuscaloosa. If you see other conditions, please give me a call. February is the month for lovers, and you will love the savings at Townsend Nissan. They're your hometown dealer. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Monday morning. Residents of the Hale County town of Sawyerville spent the weekend cleaning up, attempting to put their lives back together after last week's EF2 tornado struck the area, killing one person and injuring 7. EMA teams also spent the weekend assessing the damage. That damage assessment expected to be completed sometime today. Former UA running back Santonio Beers has died. His death was announced yesterday. Cause of death not released. Don Hartman, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
What is the Townsend Nissan difference? Pricing is made easy, payments and finance options are made easy, and your trade-in value is very easy here at Townsend Nissan. No games, no gimmicks, just a super easy at-home buying experience right here at Townsend Nissan. And with pre-owned vehicles starting at $14,995 and all pre-owned units are clearly priced, your total shopping experience will be easy here in a safe and secure environment versus those big city dealers. And the funnest part will be deciding which Townsend Nissan vehicle you would take home today.
Tuscaloosa Gunsmith does gun repair, modifications, cleaning, Cerakoting, and laser engraving for guns, and they sell Black Rifle Coffee. Tuscaloosa Gunsmith, just off 15th Street behind the fire station.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So yeah, I used the savings from switching to Progressive 50 years ago to finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. You know, because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Martin, you're hot in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9, Alabama One, alabama1.org. You can go out and find out all the great things happening there. We're glad and proud to be a part of the community and helping as we were able to solidify things on Friday night with the matching scholarship. I transpose some numbers and reverse them. We actually have raised $138,000 for women's athletics and scholarships. So we're really excited about that. Go to alabama1.org, alabama1.org, and find out more about our credit card promotion as well as our home equity line of credit promotion. If you're looking to get some money to maybe pay for college, do some renovations, or just have some security there in times of emergency. That's the home equity line of credit there by Alabama One, as well as the credit card promotion. Stop the impact of high interest rates, slow it down, and you can do that by getting one of those two great products. That's a credit card by Alabama One and or the home equity line of credit. All right. Want to make sure that I do not fail to send my condolences to Santonio Beard and his family. Do not know the details around his passing, but sad news there. As former Alabama running back Santonio Beard reported on yesterday that he had passed away. And so we send our prayers and condolences and comfort to his family. We talk about the coaches and Nick Saban changing coaches and different things like that. And of course, we got some questions. We're still waiting to see see what's happening with the coaching staff and who's going to make it and who's not and who's in and who's out. Nick Saban had hired a fourth coach, but I thought it was interesting that there was a coach that just went on kind of his rant, Coach Orgeron, and he would never, I know, coach Alabama, no, won't coach Alabama. Well, and you know what that made me think, Nathan, Joe? Is there, Nick Saban is known for bringing in coaches. Is there a list of coaches that you would say, no, these guys, regardless of whether they're good or not, here's a list of guys that I would not want Nick Saban to bring in his coaching clinic rehab facility? Would Coach O be one of those guys on that list? Could you see Nick Saban asking Coach O to even come? So I don't know if he is one of those guys or not, but I thought it was pretty interesting that he was so adamant that he would never come coach here. So we'll follow that story and see who Nick Saban actually may be bringing in as a part of his new coaching staff. But hey, Coach, shout out to Gaddis. Coach Gaddis is now the offensive coordinator for Tua Tagovailoa. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Gaddis does there down at the Dolphins, as the Dolphins seem to have their new man with Mike McDaniels, offense coordinator for the 49ers, is heading to the Dolphins and bringing Coach Gaddis from Michigan. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Maybe that'll be a good thing for Tua Tagovailoa. Hey, I just want to thank you all. Today was a lot about basketball. Of course, we'll continue to talk basketball tomorrow with DC Capstone Report, and we'll start getting some grades, looking at our biggest concerns for the spring. We'll roll back out a couple other things that we've done traditionally in the off season. As the Martin Houston Show continues to move along, I want to thank you for being a part of it. Thanks to all the caller listeners, viewers, chatters, producers, Joe and Nathan. Thanks, guys. Roll Tide. And remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide.
We go celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.